Hey, Cool Camera here with My House Sells Fast. Just want to go over one of the main topics today. We've been tons of questions, especially in this changing market and this changing economic environment we're going through. Selling a house in foreclosure in Georgia, right? So that's a big topic. We've been getting a ton of pre-foreclosures and people that are looking to either sell fast or how to save the mortgage. And so we're going to review, try to talk about that, try to help get some clarity, and just try to get as much information out there as we can to help. So selling a house in foreclosure in Georgia, facing foreclosure of a property is downright stressful, especially if you're facing financial hardships due to any sort of economic, emotional issues that are going on. Those are huge and they impact us, tremendously. Whether it's a divorce, any sort of medical bills, issues with a job, anything like that can spiral, and next thing you know, you're behind on your mortgage. So it's important to know your options, and so that's why I'm glad you guys are here today. Selling a house during a foreclosure process in Georgia is possible, but the lender and the banks, they got to know the first steps. Every time somebody calls me and says, "Hey, Co, I'm behind on the mortgage," I say, we got to call the note holder. We got to call the mortgage people. We got to let them know, hey, we know we're behind. We're facing the music, and we need to be in tune to let you know we're either going to be selling the property or whatever we got to do to make sure we either get caught up on payments or sell as soon as possible. So that way this thing doesn't go to foreclosure. Last thing the banks want to do is have it go to foreclosure. So if they can save the deal, if they can save the loan somehow, they're on board with it. They'll let you do whatever it takes to make sure that happens, but you got to communicate that with them. You got to call them. You got to let them know, hey, I know I'm behind. This is the plan of action. This is what I'm going to do. So as long as they know, you got that open line of communication. They're not just staring down at the barrel saying, hey, foreclose, foreclose, foreclose. Hire the attorney, put it in foreclosure process. What is a foreclosure? Foreclosure means the mortgage company has attained ownership and through your house through a legal process. In short, they own your house. Foreclosure happens when you fail to pay the note, when you fail the mortgage, which is a violation of the loan. That's why they issue it. So once a house is foreclosed in Georgia, there's a process that it goes through. But let's answer some questions that have come in. Can I sell a home if I'm behind on my mortgage? That's a great question. The short answer is yes. That is, so long as your lender hasn't foreclosed on your home yet. You got to know, when is it going to be foreclosed on? What is the 120-day foreclosure rule? We get that a lot. A mortgage servicer may not make a first notice or filing of foreclosure until the borrower is more than 120 days delinquent. That's the 120-day rule. If you have that and filed the application, then good, because you got 120 days to figure it out before they file for foreclosure. Regardless, you got to face the music. You got to let them know, hey, no, I'm behind. This is what I'm going to do. Plan of action. You got to avoid the foreclosure at all costs. How long does foreclosure take in Georgia? About 1 to 3 weeks. It just varies. It's all situational awareness. How long does a foreclosure take? In Georgia, the foreclosure process can vary depending on your circumstances. However, on average, it takes about 1 to 3 weeks to complete. If your property was sold at a foreclosure auction, the eviction process takes about 14 to 30 days. It's all situational awareness. How do you get around a foreclosure? There's 6 steps to stopping a foreclosure. You got to work it out with your lender. You got to call them. You got to say, hey, here's my plan. This is what I'm going to do. Can you help me? What are your resources? 6 ways to stop a foreclosure here in Georgia. Request a forbearance. Number 3, apply for a loan modification. Number 4, consult a HUD, a HUD-approved consulting agency. They're a great resource. Reach out. You need an expert in your corner. You need some really good people. You need an expert to guide you, provide options. Conduct a short sale. You can do that as well, but the lender has to be on board. So sign a deed in lieu of foreclosure. Those are the 6 steps, 6 ways to stop a foreclosure. What happens if you sell your house before your mortgage is up? In most cases, penalties are charged for breaking the mortgage terms early, unless you have a totally open mortgage. So you got to know what you're getting into. Consult the lender. You got to read them. Make sure you know what's going on. How many years does a foreclosure affect you? About 7 years. Foreclosure stays on your credit for 7 years. Let's see here. Can the foreclosure process be temporarily stalled? You can stop a foreclosure in its tracks, at least for a while, by filing for bankruptcy, filing for Chapter 7, Chapter 13, but usually only temporary. You can use Chapter 7 bankruptcy to save your house, save your home, if you are current on the loan and you do not have much equity. All right, how do I stop foreclosure? Georgia, seek help early. Ask questions. The problem when you're going through it is you're going through it and you don't want to reach out for help. At the end of the day, we all go through different things and we all need to reach out for help. So that's what we're here for. We love the opportunity to help you any way we can. Take steps to take action. Act now. If you think you'll be able to pay your mortgage, HUD-approved housing, consulting agencies, local agencies that approve free foreclosure avoidance counseling. There's hotlines too. Foreclosure preventative counseling on the phone. NeighborWorks, that's a good one to look into. Avoid Foreclosure Georgia. What happens after foreclosure in Georgia? What happens after the foreclosure sale has taken place? A valid foreclosure wipes out the borrower's right to live in the house. A new owner of the property may file a dispository action to evict the borrower from the home. So they're getting you out of there regardless. All right. They're going to home evict you, credit score damage. It's going to put you behind. The timeline of the foreclosure process takes a long time. There's 6 phases according to Forbes. So phase 1, you missed your first payment. Phase 2, default. Phase 3, notice of default of foreclosure lawsuit. Phase 4, pre-foreclosure. Phase 5, notice of sale. Phase 6, evict from home. How much time do you have to sell your home before losing it to foreclosure in Georgia? It's all situational awareness. It depends on several factors, such as your loan servicer, the type of foreclosure process, whether it's judicial or non-judicial. These specific rules in Georgia vary. However, in most cases, it takes about 6 months to a year to complete the foreclosure process. You can market and sell your home before auction. You have a higher chance of receiving a great offer. How long does it take to sell a home in foreclosure in Georgia? Well, you got to call a professional. They're going to come out, they're going to run some reports and identify the conditions, the locations, and the current pricings that are being sold around you. And they'll show you how long it's taken to sell those properties in that area. So it should, you talk to the right professional, they should give you that roadmap. Now that you know that you can sell your house in the foreclosure process, find out how much it's worth. Call a professional. They're going to come out, get the report, set the asking price, notify the mortgage lender. That's the next step. Make sure they're okay with it, they're on board. Find a real estate agent or sell it by yourself. Get a cash offer, negotiate it. Let the lender know that you have a buyer. Close the deal. Make sure the lender gets their money. Make sure that it doesn't affect you and your credit going forward. You have 5 options other than selling a home in foreclosure. Number 1, paying missed payments. So that should help. You can get out of default if you pay what's due. You got to call the lender immediately. You got to let them know. As long as you have that open line of communication, they're willing to work with you. You just got to call and make it happen. This includes interest, late fees, any sort of penalties aside from the missed mortgage payments. You can find ways to get the money despite the financial hardships. A loan modification, this is a great way. You need to speak with a lender. You got to figure out your options, your resources. How can they help you? That's what they're there for. Number 3, refinance. Refinance before foreclosure. That would be huge. You got some equity in the property, refinance, refinance, refinance. Get that money out, whatever you got to do to get caught up. Get a deed in lieu of foreclosure. Turn over the ownership of the property to your lender. You can just sign it away. That way it doesn't affect you years going down the line. Number 5, short sale. You gotta make sure the lender's on board with that, but that's another option as well. Related foreclosure questions. Can I sell my home in pre-foreclosure? Yes, you can still sell your home in pre-foreclosure. Will I still owe money when I sell my house in a foreclosure auction? Yes, it is possible to owe money to the lender. Those auctions are not guaranteed. And so if you don't get what you need for the property, then yeah, you'll be upside down and you'll have to pay. So an auction might not be the best way to go. Can I sell a home in foreclosure to a cash home buyer? Yes, absolutely. You'll be able to sell as fast as 7 days, 14 days. Key takeaways. You can sell a house in foreclosure in Georgia. Yes, take action immediately. That's the key takeaway. We'd love to help you out. Please feel free to reach out, fill out one of our forms online. My house sells fast, Co Cameron. Hope you guys have a great day.